Last week I spoke to a Gold Star mom who lost her son at Abbey Gate two years ago in Afghanistan, Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover. She's testified to Congress. In her view, the Biden administration lied to her about how her son died. Here is what she said when I asked her what would she want to say to President Biden if she could.
He needs to come out and say, yeah, I made a mistake. I chose wrong. I was looking for a photo op and I messed up. That's what he needs to do.
Do you think President Biden is willing to meet with any of these Gold Star families or talk publicly more about what happened at Abbey Gate two years ago?
He certainly has talked about Afghanistan and the decision to withdraw and the evacuation and how it was conducted. We have conducted after-action reports. We've shared information with Congress and the public to the degree that we can. The President and the First Lady continue to grieve with all the Gold Star families, especially those who were killed in that terrible day at Abbey Gate. There's not a day that goes by that he and the First Lady aren't thinking about them, mourning with them, and understanding the loss and the sacrifice and the anguish that they're still feeling. And you could hear it in that soundbite clearly there. And we understand that, and we're going to stay with them and support them for the rest of their lives, as we should, as they deserve to. But pulling out of Afghanistan was the right decision for our national security. We're not now bogged down in a war in Afghanistan. We have been able to free up resources and manpower to be prepared for other national security concerns, such as the ones we have in the Indo-Pacific and that we anticipate being able to talk about at Camp David. That war is over. It should have been ended, and the mission for which the troops were sent there had been accomplished.
She said, Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover's mom said that he reported to her that it was just chaos, the chain of command was unclear, that they were sitting ducks, and we've heard other things since then. I think I understand that you'd rather talk, and the president would rather talk about the decision to end the war in Afghanistan. I think a lot of people are concerned about how it happened, the implementation of the withdrawal, and why it seemed so chaotic, and why warnings about suicide bombers might not have been heeded, and the rest.
Look, I think Central Command, who was the overarching military command, did a pretty exhaustive investigation of this, Jake, and they determined that barring any decision that could have impacted mission success, there wasn't much that could be done to prevent that attack from coming, as tragic as it was.
So you don't think this could have been handled, this actually could have been handled better in any way? No mistakes?
No, I don't think it could have been handled in a way that we're going to go back in hindsight and look, but the idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that happened.
So for you, that was always priced into the decision?
Yes.
Mr. President, do you trust the Taliban, Mr. President?
Is a Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No, it is not. I don't think it could have been handled without chaos ensuing.
Mr. President, thank you very much. Your own intelligence community has assessed that the Afghan government will likely collapse.
That is not true.
Can you please clarify what they have told you about whether that will happen or not?
That is not true. They did not reach that conclusion.
Do you trust the Taliban, Mr. President? Do you trust the Taliban, sir?
Is that a serious question?
It's absolutely a serious question. Do you trust the Taliban?
No, I do not.
Over the country to the Taliban.
No, I do not trust the Taliban.
So why are we
Is the U.S. responsible for the death that happened to Afghans after you leave?
Mr. President, will you amplify that question, please? Will you amplify your answer, please, why you don't trust the Taliban?
It's a silly question. Do I trust the Taliban? No. But I trust the capacity of the Afghan military, who is better trained, better equipped, and more competent in terms of conducting war.
Some Vietnamese veterans see echoes of their experience in this withdrawal in Afghanistan. Do you see any parallels between this withdrawal and what happened in Vietnam, with some people feeling?
None whatsoever. Zero. What you had entire brigades breaking through the gates of our embassy. 6, if I'm not mistaken. The Taliban is not the North Vietnamese army. They're not remotely comparable in terms of capability. There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of a embassy of the United States from Afghanistan. It is not at all comparable. Well, first of all, the mission hasn't failed yet.
But we've all seen the pictures. We've seen those hundreds of people packed into a C-17. We've seen Afghans falling.
That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
Still a lot of pandemonium outside the airport.
Well, there is, but look, but no one's being killed right now. God forgive me if I'm wrong about that, but no one's being killed right now.
You set a deadline, you pulled troops out, you sent troops back in, and now 12 Marines are dead. You said the buck stops with you. Do you bear any responsibility for the way that things have unfolded in the last 2 weeks?
I bear responsibility for fundamentally all that's happened of late. I made the decision. The buck stops with me. I am President of the United States. The buck stops with me. And I made it clear to them, the buck stops with me. The last point I'll make is this. Look, the buck stops with me. But here's the deal. You know, I wish you one day say these things. You know as well as I do that the former president made a deal with the Taliban. Remember that? I'm being serious. No, I'm asking you a question. Because before... No, wait a minute. I'm asking you a question. Is that accurate, the best of your knowledge? What?
I would say first that no one is placing blame here. All right? Do you think that
people have an issue with pulling out of Afghanistan or just the way that things have happened?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. President, will the United States be responsible for the loss of Afghan civilian lives that could happen after the military exit?
No. I am President of the United States. The buck stops with me.
Some of the Gold Star families have criticized the president's conduct at the dignified transfer. There was a father of one Marine who said that the president appeared to be checking his watch every time a flag-draped transfer case came out of the plane. And a sister of another Marine said that it felt like a fake and scripted apology. Was the president looking at his watch, and does he have a message to those people who felt that they were offended?
Well, I would say his message to all of the family members who were there, those who were not even in attendance, is that he is grateful to their sons and daughters, the sacrifice they made to the country.
He knows firsthand what it's like to lose a child.
And the fact that no one can tell you anything or say anything, or there's no words that are going to fill that hole that is left by that.
He's not going to speak to, and I'm not going to speak to, the private conversations.
Of course, they have the right to convey whatever they would like. But I will tell you, from spending a lot of time with him over the past couple of days, that he was deeply impacted by these family members who he met just 2 days ago.
Maybe it's because my deceased son, Bo, served in Iraq for a full year. Before that, well, and I ask that you join me now in a moment of silence for all those in uniform and out of uniform, military and civilian, who have given the last full measure of devotion. We will complete our mission, and we will continue. We completed one of the biggest airlifts in history, with more than 120,000 people evacuated to safety. That number is more than double what most experts thought were possible. No nation has ever done anything like it in all of history. Only the United States had the capacity and the will and the ability to do it, and we did it today. The extraordinary success of this mission. So thank you very much, and thank you, Commissioner. I really think it all works. I'm not supposed to take any questions, but go ahead.
Mr. President, on Afghanistan?
I'm not going to answer Afghanistan now.
Can you say facilities?
Okay.
Guys, we have to load quickly. Let's go, guys. We have to load.
have another meeting for real.
And there was a lot of confusion outside the gate. But inside that gate, the rules of engagement were clear. The commanders were on the ground. At the moment of the explosion, there were quite a few commanders there in charge and leading. And of course, everybody responded bravely after the attack. So I understand, again, the pain, and we understand the anguish. Nobody can replace the loss that these families have suffered. But there was an exhaustive investigation. CENTCOM and the Army tried to learn from that. And we'll continue to carry those lessons with us forward.